The theme for the September Diecast Exchange Challenge is Warhammer 40K. According to the instructions, it says you can use as many 1/64th scale diecast vehicles as you want, and you put yourself in the Warhammer timeline. I decided I wanted to make some kind of an Ork Battlewagon. I knew I wanted to go way over the top with this build, so I thought, well, let's go with 3 1/64th scale trucks, 2 trailers, and one of those team transport vehicles. This market basket trailer was given to me by Scott over at Wicked Small Garage, and he had challenged me when he sent it to do some kind of, war wagon. And I hope it's okay that I use that as part of a build. I'm sure he was thinking I would just take that and the cab and make that into the vehicle. But no, it just becomes a component of this. And as you'll see as this goes on, basically all of these are a small part because everything that I did to this thing is very over the top and crazy. So first things first, I had to strip these trailers down, getting them to their basics, just basically the box itself. So those I cut apart, cut the excess off. I needed the bottoms to be flat on these, or reasonably flat, because of what I end up doing with them. So I needed those flat. Obviously the 2 trailers are of different lengths, slightly different shapes. One thing that was nice is the basic box itself on both of them was the same size, but I'm putting them on tracks. 1 track under one trailer, 1 track under the other trailer. And originally I thought I was going to put another trailer in between them and make this thing super wide. And that had an odd look to me when I started to do that. And I thought, no, here's how I want to go. I want to go these 2 trailers attached to each other with the tracks under them. As you see, this one has the lower section to the trailer, so that could get mounted flush on the tracks, but then that would throw off the height on the other trailer. So it took a little creativity to get it to work. I did have to strip the labels off these trailers, and Super Clean worked really well for that. Let them soak for a while, because those labels, and those were stickers on the side. It wasn't paint. Unlike the team transport, which is actually painted on, these were just labels that were stuck on these 2 trailers. So stuck on them very well, I might add. So yeah, very first processes of this, I'm CA gluing these together. You notice I'm putting them roof down flat. So I wanted the front ends and the tops to be even, because the team transport's going to sit on top of that. That's the direction we're going. So tracks under here, team transport vehicle on the top of that. That has the cab that the orcs can sit in and drive. These trailers can be full of orcs too. I don't know how this is going. I did use a piece of square styrene to give me a gap between the 2 sets of treads. I didn't want a huge gap, but I didn't want them to be butted up against each other, because that would look stupid. It would look like one big flat track. And that wasn't the look I wanted. I wanted some separation between the tracks. I think this is 1/8 inch square styrene that I use here. If not, it's very close to that. CA glued that in between these 2 pieces. I just wanted to put it at the top edge, because I didn't want you to look between the tracks and then see another piece of styrene or something used to keep them separated. So while it would have made it a little easier, support-wise, if I had done that as I'm building this, it was all about the look. And so here I CA glued that into place. And I did have to use some accelerator. You may not see it every time I CA glue things on here, and I do greatly shorten this video. You don't see a lot of the gluing things on. You'll see the results, but I do use the accelerator, the kicker, as you see there. I drip some of that on there to speed up that curing process of the CA glue, which pretty much instantly cures it. And then as you'll see here in a second, I can just pick this thing up now and it's good to go. Yeah, so that's one piece now, as you see here. So I'm good to go. I got a gap between the sets of tracks. And now I'm drilling holes in this. And you'll see me do this. I drill holes in these tracks on the top section. I drill holes into the top and bottom of those trailers. And the reason is I do that is I'm going to use those holes to make this thing a little more structurally sound. That was a big concern of mine as I'm putting this together. I don't want this thing coming apart. And so it's kind of tough because like I mentioned before, that one trailer, the red trailer, sticks down lower than the white trailer. So that red section is actually going to glue right on to one of the sets of tracks. But then obviously there's going to be a gap, an air gap, between the white trailer and the treads. As you see here, see there's an air gap there, even though on the other side, on the red side, it's butted right up against it. But as you might be imagining already, if you've watched my videos before, somehow JB Weld is going to get involved in this build. Probably not as much as you might expect. Probably not as much as I expected early on. It did become a heavy CA glue build. And here I'm CA gluing that red flat section to the tracks. And this worked really well. You know, that was the one flat section. I put that on the... I had to think about, okay, now which track? So I'm making sure this thing's going forward. Am I putting this on? I had to notch a little bit of the red trailer to get it to sit flat. But it went on there really well. And using that 1/8 square styrene between the tracks gave it the right width. I couldn't have asked for that to work out any better. Just having that square styrene handy. A lot of the parts on here are printed to spec when I 3D printed them. Now here, as I was doing this, I noticed under that overhang on the team transport trailer, it's open. It's not closed off. I'm not sure why they didn't close it off, but it gives it a real weird look when you flip this over. And you don't even have to flip it over that far to see this weird unfinished section right above the blue cab and between that overhang on the trailer. So I wasn't happy with that. I thought it's easy enough to cut a thin piece of styrene using the tape to mask it off there. And you just, cut it to size. I hit the underside of that overhang with some CA glue here in a second. Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. See how open it is under there? I'm not sure why they didn't finish that off. I guess they figure people won't notice, and it probably saves them 3 cents, But, and I guess if you do enough of these, 3 cents here, 3 cents there adds up. But just for a more finished look, I wanted to seal that off. So I did. And if you have these team transports around that you're customizing or something, and you haven't noticed this, it's a simple fix. Very simple. Sure, it butts that cab up against the styrene, but it's a much more finished look. And just like that, you're done. Piece of cake. Clean off the excess CA glue. Make sure it's in place again. You're good to go. Now in doing this too, I did not use before I make that comment, I did have to sand the bottom of that team transport flat. There's a lot of suspension stuff under it, basically the drive line, all of that. Had to sand all the exhaust, had to sand all of that off. because I want that to mount onto the top of those trailers. So I did CA glue that onto there. Now I'm mixing up a bunch of JB Weld. I don't usually mix up that much JB Weld. I haven't mixed up probably that much JB Weld since I did the K7 Ghostbusters build, which is probably 75% JB Weld. But you'll see me really glop this stuff on there because what I'm doing is I'm putting it into the holes that I drilled, like here into the top of the trailer. And I'm using that then to fuse it with the underside where that axle went through on that team transport. So I do that on that upper section. I do it on the bottom section between the tracks and the bottom of the trailer. And it really ends up, once that JB Weld cures, being really structurally sound. I couldn't be any happier with how solid this thing is. What I was about to mention before is I did not reinstall the windshield on the team transport because I thought, okay, orcs aren't going to want glass there. The glass is going to break, especially when you fire the big front gun. Oh yeah, you haven't seen that yet. Well, it's actually 2 big side guns. And the rocket above might, probably break the glass too. So yeah, I didn't put the glass. Figure the orcs wouldn't want it. I did not put bars up there in the traditional, oh, I'm doing a Gaslands build, I have to put screen over the windows, or oh, I'm doing a Gaslands build, I have to put bars in the windows. Look, nobody's getting up there. You know, you don't have to worry about anybody climbing up there on this vehicle. So no, I just left them open. I thought about putting glass in, and I thought, no, that'll just be silly. It'll break. The blasts are going to take that out. The blasts might take out a few of the own team there. But, hey, that's the way it goes. Being an orc isn't easy. So, doing this, this is highly sped up. All of the accelerated sections in this video are sped up 4 times normal speed. So they're highly accelerated. I do not work that quickly. I'm not sure I'd even wish that I did, because then I'd probably be really sloppy at it. And I try not to be too sloppy at this because then it gives me less to clean up. And already you see there's a couple spots I end up cleaning up. I did also put JB Weld around the bottom edge of that team's transport. You can see it there. And again on this other side. I did not fill in wheel wells with it. Those I put armor over. There you see I've added some things. The rocket on the top is removable. And that front crushing, rolling wheel does spin. So I guess in a way you could say this is a roller. It's not rolling anywhere. But some things on it do move. It has moving parts. I guess those would be features. I did cut up some thick wire for some ducting on the outside. I used some actual Warhammer parts on some areas of this build. The guns, the roller on the front, all of that were FDM printed. Not resin printed, but FDM, which is, I've mentioned before, it's kind of like fishing line. It's very strong. It's not, resin can be very brittle. This stuff is not brittle. You don't get the extra fine detail that you get with resin printing, but man, this stuff is strong. Now, I did go over it. As you see there, it's in black now. That's Citadel Rattle Can Chaos Black, which is a wonderful primer, and it's just a wonderful flat black paint. It works fantastic on castings. That's the color I basically wanted as the background on this vehicle. And so first things first, I start picking out metal, basically metallic parts. And so that was the first step in the painting. And there's a lot of detail painting on this. I'm using a variety of paints on this. Some of it is Citadel, some of it is AK Interactive. Uh, you name it, I used it. Some is Vallejo. But I painted the metallics first. And there I'm making progress on the metallics. And I don't make you sit through all of this painting because it was tedious. At the same time I was doing the metallics, I decided to paint the other armor panels in a red. I looked at different things online showing orc armies, and I liked a particular color theme that I saw for one, and so I kind of went with that with the red and gold. I like the gold. So went with that. At this point, I'm a little farther along. Went with the spikes. Once all of that was done, once that detail was down, it was time to go over things with Nuln Oil. And so I obviously go over those panels with Nuln Oil, go over the spikes with Nuln Oil, go over various areas of the black with Nuln Oil to give it a variety of shading, which I was really happy with the results. And again, this is just, it takes some time to do. At this point, it's been dry brushed with silver. I've picked out a lot of details with bronze, rivets all over the place with silver. The cab, I used some silver on to pick that out. And if you look at some of the edges of the trailers, I picked out the edges with a light blue paint to make it pop a little bit more. Now, the rocket is clean. It is not really rusted or weathered in any way because it's a one-shot thing. So every time it's a new one when you launch it, there's where we started, here's where we finished. I like to call this overkill because it pretty much is. I hope you like the results of this build. This was a blast to do. Everybody, please go check out the Diecast Exchange. Check out the other challenge builds for that. And this was fun. I hope you like this. Everybody, thanks for watching. Stay safe and healthy out there. I'll catch you in the next one.